Ooh. So thank you for joining me today. So yeah, today's lesson, it's about using the ground to make things a little bit easier as you practice. So like noticing how a footprint can assist in your movements, noticing how pushing into the floor can assist with your movements, and so on. So just allowing yourself just to begin to settle into the floor. And checking in on the forces of gravity resting down through the bones and into the body. So as we're lying here, we can begin to feel the weight of the head. And we can begin to feel how it is just to begin to turn the head from side to side. So just allow yourself just to gently roll the head. Think about just saying no. Nothing too vigorous, just a few degrees left to right. As you're doing that, feeling the space at the back of the head, the back of the neck, and how that connects into the spine, and how far down in your neck you might feel that movement. You might not feel it very much at all. You might feel it, down into the rib cage. And then let's just allow everything just to settle in the centre. And then we can feel again the weight of gravity on the bones of the shoulders, the elbows, throughout the spine, the hips, into the legs, into the feet. And we're going to just begin our breath awareness, so feeling how it is to breathe. So allowing your belly to swell gently and feeling your navel sinking very softly back to the spine. So I want to approach the beginning of today's lesson just as gently as you can. So let's start by lying down. Well, I just said that you already are, haven't you? And bringing both feet in just in front of your hips. And notice your footprints, your right footprint, your left footprint. And then we're going to start by sliding that left foot all the way out in front of us so the leg is nice and straight. And we can feel then the right footprint resting into the floor. And just now picture on your right knee you've got something amazing, something really precious that you don't want to drop. And it could be, an elephant, a tiny one, it could be a tiny monkey, it could be a ladybird, it could be a glass of water, it could be a glass of gin. Anything, you don't want to drop it. And all we're going to begin to do is try to keep it balanced as we press the foot deeper and deeper into the floor. So as you do that, starting to feel your pelvis begin to tilt to the left. And then relax it, allow it just to settle back down. And again, very gently pressing the footprint into the floor, keeping the knee standing up. And again, just gently letting it sink down into the floor. So again, the hip settles. So we're trying not to get the knee waving around. So we want to feel that we've got a really even footprint that doesn't change throughout the press. And what you're sensing is that push travelling up the shin, to the knee, to the thigh, to the hip, and then into the shoulders. It might be that you can turn your head to look towards your right shoulder. That might feel really nice. So you can get almost like a little side bend through the spine that travels into the neck. And each time you let your hips settle, you turn your head back to the front of the mat. And again, you press your foot down, turn your hips, take your gaze towards your right shoulder. Again, gently rotating yourself back down to the floor. It's a bit of a twist, it's a bit of a side bend, it's a bit of everything, but you shouldn't be feeling it as anything too intense. I mean, what you could even do, if it feels a little bit deep to start with, is just go gently, just maybe interplay going for a deeper press and a softer press. And then take a little rest and extend your right foot out in front of you. Just for a moment, check in on your right side and then your left side. How do they feel? And then slide your left foot in again and picture whatever it is balancing again on your knee, glass of gin, little tiny elephant, little monkey, little ladybird, whatever it is, something amazing. It's not going to be harmed. And then you just gently begin to press your left foot into the floor. And again, do you feel the pelvis beginning to turn? And again, settling your hips back down to the floor. And just gently press again whenever you're ready, feel the hips turn. And again, it might be nice to start to turn your head to look towards your left shoulder. So you just kind of, it might just feel like an intuitive movement that as you press the foot, it's going to feel nice just to let that travel up into the neck. And again, it might be nice just to kind of do it gently, little pushes and then deeper pushes, and just follow that movement through the hip, up into the ribs. And it's all coming because you're pressing the foot into the floor. And then settle back down. Sliding your left foot out in front of you. Place your right hand onto your right shoulder. So you've got your left arm, just maybe in fact bring your left arm out, maybe at shoulder height if you can reach. I'm just going to move myself a little bit further back. And we've got both legs straight, and your right hand is on your left shoulder, and then look towards your left hand. And now, what you do now is keep your hand on your arm at all times. I don't want you to take it off and reach. It's just a very slow, gradual push of the fingertips down towards your left wrist. And start just to feel how that movement again travels through the body until you kind of feel that you need to heave to move anymore, and then we're just going to slowly roll back. And again, keeping your hand on the shoulder, down to the wrist. Again, move with elegance. Why have I just said that? I do not know. And then bring it back. So just careful movement. Just let your head, notice if your head's lifting. So again, the aim here is not to get your, to get your hand to the opposite hand. So keep your head on the floor, and again, it's just gently rubbing it. Sometimes you've got a sore arm, and you might just rub it gently, just to go, oh, that's a bit sore. So again, that gentleness, stroking the skin of the arm. And then just again, sensing and feeling how far down the body you can roll. And then returning to centre. And again, just rest your arms down by your side, and then just sense and feel the right shoulder. And then we're going to lay the right arm out at shoulder height. Placing the left hand over onto the right shoulder. And again, turn your head to look towards the right hand. And then, I'm just going to spin around just so I can keep talking towards the camera. Slide again the hand down towards the wrist. So again, imagine you've got a little sore muscle or some sore skin, and you're just gently sliding that hand down and just checking how it feels. And feeling the hand, the elbow, the shoulder, the ribs, feeling that turn. And again, keeping your head on the floor. So again, the aim of this is not to kind of reach the hand, so we don't want to strain. It's just feeling the action from the fingertips guiding you towards this little twist of the shoulders. And when you're ready, I'm going to pause. I'm just going to spin around again so I keep facing. You don't have to spin, it's just so that I'm not talking towards the wall behind me. So now we're going to bring our right foot up. So we're going to place the foot on the floor. You've got your left leg straight. And then your left hand again is somewhere out by shoulder height. Caterpillar across the floor, so stay on camera. And then your right hand, again, is on your left shoulder. So starting with the foot, again, imagine you've got that little elephant, that little bottle of gin, a pint of beer, whatever it is you place on your knee. Begin to press the right foot into the floor and then start to slide your right hand towards your left wrist. And allow your body to turn with it, keeping that knee standing up. And then slowly uncurl and rest onto your back. And again, gentleness, start with the foot and then start the fingers, that journey. And again, see how easy it is to roll. And it might be that the fingers reach beyond the lower hand. You might start to feel that you're touching the carpet or touching the wooden floor, whatever room you're practicing. And again, this is not about trying to reach as far as possible, but it's just more noticing that your range of movement begins to increase. It might be also quite nice just as you turn your head to let your forehead roll into the floor. And again, slowly coming back down to earth. And then when you're ready again, just settle down, but we're just going to change the angle of the hand. So your left hand, so if you've got it at shoulder height, like around about 3 o'clock, bring it towards 2 or maybe 1 o'clock. So picture yourself as a human clock face. And then placing again your right hand on your left shoulder. Press the foot, feel the pelvis begin to turn. Slide again your hand towards the wrist and beyond. And again, feeling how this just transforms, again, that movement just a little bit. You might feel even your arch in the spine a little bit. You might be feeling that your chest is coming forwards. And again, keeping your head on the floor as you move. And then whenever you're ready again, just settle back down, placing your arms down by your side. Just let your hips settle into the floor. And again, check in on how the body feels. Do you feel different down the right side through the hips, the thigh, the ribs, the shoulder? And then slide your left foot, place it into the floor. Starting with your arms again at shoulder height. I can see you're already there, I think. Press again, place your left hand on the right shoulder. And again, press with the left foot. Start to slide the hand along the arm. Again, rolling back. So again, just think about even being in no hurry. I feel like I'm rushing this along because I like it. So be in no hurry, just to feel the movement from the foot, move up the body. Again, it might be nice just to roll the forehead onto the floor. It's going to feel like an intuitive moment to roll that forehead into the floor. Again, just take your time. It's all from that gentle press, using the ground forces to push up through the body. And then whenever you're ready, again, just rest into the floor. And again, thinking about yourself like a human clock face. And we're going to bring this right arm, maybe towards number 10 or number 11 above your head. And then start with the left foot, gently press it, feel the pelvis, the belly, the ribs, and slide the hand. And again, just notice how this feels in the ribs and the heart. Do we feel it? Maybe going into a little back bend. Opening up the spine. Again, keep your head on the floor. Again, all the while, just maintain that awareness of your left knee. What is it doing? Is it rolling into the floor? Is it pretty much standing up? And then allow yourself again, just this moment, just to rest into the floor, bringing your hands down by your side. This is quite a nice start. So for anybody who's going to do this at a later date, it's roasting hot today. So quite a nice way to start the practice, allowing yourself just to cool down a little bit. So we're going to bend both knees and have them on the have your feet on the floor. Have your hands just down by your side. And again, focus on your footprints. Just sense your big toe, the ones in the middle, the little toe. I never know quite how to refer to those toes because you don't wear rings or anything on your toes, do you? And so with this movement, we're just going to begin to press again evenly down through the feet and allow your pelvis to pick itself up and begin to roll into a bit of a bridge pose. So again, it's that push of the feet, but it's traveling up into the ribs and the hips. And whenever you're ready, again, take yourself gently down to the floor. So again, it's the push of the feet, traveling up through the bones, the thighs, to the hips, to the shoulders. And again, sinking back down. And the choice is yours as to whether or not you want to hold this. So you might feel like, at this point, it might be nice just to keep pressing and letting the movement travel up the spine. But you never know, you might think, I really want to stay high. But if you stay high, again, keep the feet pressing, pushing forwards. Maybe even check if your feet are too close together. Sometimes people have a tendency to have the feet close together. So if you could think about your heels being in line with your hip joints, pushing forward. So if you're moving or if you're staying still, feel what those feet are doing, pressing into the floor and letting that movement travel up the spine. It might be that you're choosing to vary this up, maybe going between a few held and between a few unheld. And then when you're ready, again, just take yourself just to rest into the floor. So let's bring our feet inwards. I'm going to come close to the camera for this one. In towards the belly. So bring your knees in. And then taking your feet up to the ceiling and again back in towards your hips. Just opening it, the backs of the knees out, opening out the hamstrings, opening out the calves. And then we're going to hold these feet up towards the ceiling. My feet have vanished off the camera, still got feet. Place your hands behind your head. And this is just acting as a bit of a cushion really for your head. So just picture that you could dive towards your feet. So we're going to just begin to tuck the chin in towards the chest, bringing the elbows together and curl up the elbows towards your thighs. And again, settle back down. So again, tucking the chin in, bringing the elbows towards the thighs, curling up. And again, settling back down. We're only doing 10 of these. We've only done 2. So in your own time, exhale, curl up. Inhale, come down. Exhale. Completely lost count. I'll do one more just for good luck. And then bring your knees in towards your belly. Let your elbows drop wide. So we're going to kind of do the opposite end of that. So that would have been felt just below the ribs into the upper part of the belly. So this next movement, you'll feel it in your lower part of the belly and in your pelvis a little bit. So keep your thighs hugged in towards your belly. And as you take an exhale, try to press your thighs into your belly and curl your hips off the floor. And then inhale, release the tailbone towards the floor. Exhale, bring the thighs in, so you can squeeze those the lower back off the floor, and again releasing back down. Feel the sacrum connect. Exhale, curling up. Inhale, relaxing down. Just 7 more. I'm saying just 7 more, you might have done 3, you might have done 5. I can feel those 7. Relax yourselves in for a second, extending your feet to the ceiling, placing your hands underneath your pelvis. Push your feet forward, sweep, and curl up to seated. I'm melting from that one. So, next thing, we're going to be moving into some dogs. Oh yes, have some water. Moving so you can see still. So yeah, coming onto all fours, your hands are down under your shoulders, can be to move the lights on a bit more visible. Oopsie daisy, that's taking the magic out. You can see my lights, you can see just how this studio is so ill-equipped. Anyway, so anyway, your hands are down on the floor. So, take an exhale, lift your tailbone, drop your belly and look forward. As you inhale, look down to your knees, tuck your tailbone under. Look down, so you're looking down between your thighs and take a seat. So you're going to feel your tailbone dropping, your lower back rounding. Keep your arms straight, look forwards and come up. So you're going to look in the direction that you're travelling. So inhale, looking down to your knees, drop your bottom to your heels. Exhale, looking up, so you come up, keep the arms straight. And again, inhale, look down. Exhale, look up, come up. Inhale, look down, go down. Exhale, look up, come up. Just undulating again. Feeling that this head is really kind of heavy. This head, again, is working with gravity. As you look down, you sink down. As you look up, you're coming up. And then let's just pause in the centre and we can go the other way. So I want you just to look up this time and take a seat. So your tailbone's lifted like a really happy dog. Drop your bottom down. Then look down to your knees and come forward, leading with your shoulders. And then look up, lift your tailbone, and then take a seat. Look down to your knees, come up. So again, you're rounding the other way. So again, lifting your tailbone, we're in extension. And as we come down, as we look down, we are in flexion, but we're coming forward. So lift the tailbone, flexion, sit down, bottom wide, in up. And then take your bottom down to your heels, looking at your hands, lift your knees, and then come back up to all fours. So again, take your bottom down to your heels, pressing your hands, lift your knees, coming back up to all fours. So you're going to start to really see it's possible to rock onto the heels. So again, if you can lift those knees a little bit higher. And then whenever you're ready, from those hands, feel those bones connected together, allow yourself to roll up to downward facing dog. And spread your hands, so from those fingers, feel that press of the hands through the bones, into the shoulders, into the hips. Bend the knees, look at your feet as well. Are your feet together? Are your legs wide apart? And are your legs completely straight? Bend the knees, but push forward with the hands, feeling the tummy elongate. And then whenever you're ready, drop the knees and come back up to all fours. And then do it again. So again, you might, in fact, let's switch this up. Look down to your knees, curling your tailbone down and roll up into dog. And whenever you're ready, coming back down and then do this with the tailbone lifted. So looking forwards, taking a seat, roll into dog. See how you feel. So it might be you've got a favourite way of doing that now. And then whenever you're ready, go into that favourite way. So I actually quite like going into my dog, looking down. Again, spend some time feeling those hands pushing forwards, the energy from the floor, pushing up into the arms and the shoulders, into the pelvis, into the shins, into the thighs, and breathe. So let's drop our knees back down again and have a little seat. You're going to feel really warm upside down, so not good, is it, when it's so hot? And then, actually you can feel a nice cool breeze on your sweat. We're going to move into another little sequence. So from this place, come up onto your knees, look down to your left knee, and you want to line your right heel up to your left knee. We've done this before in this lesson, we should be experts at this one now. So it's the caution really isn't to go, is to try not to have that foot all the way forward because it makes movement more difficult. So again, heel in line with knee, as wide as you like is what I'll say, and your heel should be on the floor. And then we're going to drop the belly onto thigh, fingertips come to the floor. It might be that you've got 1,000,001 blocks nearby that you're going to use, and just let your head relax, feeling your torso relaxing into that front thigh. And then whenever you're ready, let's use this front leg. We're going to push into the floor, feeling the knee begin to lift, slowly straightening your left leg. Let the heel sink into the floor. And then whenever you're ready, just bend your right knee, bring the knee over the toes, and then straighten your right leg. And you'll feel that left heel kind of maybe lifting, and then maybe dropping into the floor. And I just want you to think about that left footprint behind you being the beautifulest footprint you've ever made in the floor. And then we can begin to maybe even settle into this pose. And just think about gravity on your head. So if you're looking forward to your next 10, let your neck feel nice and loose and just dangle from the hips. And I know that some people who watch these videos can't do this because they're, for one reason or another, so if that is you, you come up onto fingertips. But again, just try to let that neck stay nice and free. And then we're going to bend the back knee and come back down to earth. And whenever you're ready, press again into the front foot, feel the pelvis lift, leg strengthens again. If you can't have the head and heart lower, come onto fingertips. So again, just trying to maintain that sense of alignment through the middle of the body. But if you're happy to drape down, let go of all that tension through the neck. And then whenever you're ready again, bring the knee back down to the floor. And then maybe on this next one, we can use it to do something else. So what we're going to do is push, rolling into our fold. And then what we're going to do now is bend the right knee. So bring that right knee over the ankle and push into the floor. Feel that you can actually begin to stand up. Ooh, I can actually just begin to disappear off the camera is what I can do. Oops, daisy. And then from this place, walking your hands down the thigh, back down to the floor. Lower the back knee down. And again, from your front foot, feel that force of the ground travelling up into the leg. Again, settle down to pose number one. And then bending your right knee, pushing into the floor, feeling yourself uncurl to standing. You can raise the arms, move into warrior one. Taking your hands back down to the thigh. Again, walk yourself back down, all the way back into fold. Bending the left knee and coming back down to the floor. Pushing with your right foot, uncurl again into our first pose. Bending the right knee, push again and uncurl to standing. Raising the arms. Pose, posing here. Yeah, pose here, pose all the way. Resting here, pausing. Keep your right knee bent and sink your left heel deeper into the floor. Maybe circle your shoulders, let go of any tension through the neck. Ooh, knock a picture off the wall with your hands if you want to. Bring your hands behind you and curl back down and place your hands back down to the floor, bending your left knee. Slide your right knee down so it's on the floor and take a little seat on your heels behind you. So just resting your hands down on your thigh. Thigh? What thigh? Both of your thighs. And from here, push down through the knees, feel yourself rising up, bringing your hands towards the sky, open up the hips, moving into our camel pose. Guide your hips back down to your heels, bring your hands down to your heart. Lower your hands down onto your thighs. And again, it's a bit of a push of your knees. It's quite subtle, but it's the knees pushing that brings your pelvis up. Follow the movement up into the heart, sweeping your hands up towards the sky. And then exhale, bottom comes down to heels, taking a seat. One more time, floating up. So from the knees, follow the movement up. Exhale, just doing two more. Looking down towards your knees, again, rise up and set your left heel in line with your right knee. So again, footprints on the floor. So again, try not to have those feet too far away. Drop your belly down onto the thighs, and again, dangle your arms. Have those fingertips on the floor again. It might be if you've got really long shins that you need blocks for those hands to rest on. Letting go of all that tension in the neck. And then when you're ready, it's the push of the front foot. So press down, feel the knee begin to uncurl, dropping the heel into the floor. And then just pause here for a second, bend your left knee. And then just again feel as though you're going to push that left foot forward. So the leg begins to straighten, the hips move back. And again, bending the left knee. Again, push the foot, imagine you're pushing it forward. So you'll feel those hips drop back and that right heel beginning to sink deeper into the floor. So again, it's all from that push through the earth. So think less about straightening your front leg, think more about pushing that foot forward into the floor. And whenever you're ready again, just allow yourself to settle down for a few moments. Again, adapt it if you need to, grip onto fingertips, particularly if your back doesn't like being bent, we can have those fingertips there so the spine's a little bit straighter. And then we come back down to earth by bending the back knee, and again, control the movement, try not to come down with a massive plunk. So again, when you're ready, front foot moves, and exhale into pose. And again, just adjust it if you need to adjust it. Be kind to the body. Bend in the back knee, coming back down to earth. So again, control the journey back down. And again, just a few more times, rolling in if you want, hanging out here if you want. And then whenever you're ready, come back down and we're going to move towards our little warrior sequence. So again, it's that first initial push into the floor sends us into Parsvatanasana. And then bending that left knee. So again, gauge when the knee is over the ankle. And then it's that another push into the floor. Feel as you push, we can begin to uncurl to standing. Knees bent, sweeping the hands up. And again, placing the hands down on the thighs, walk the hands back down to the floor. Block. And again, bend your right knee and sink back down. Push with the left foot, uncurl. Bend the left knee, push again. Sweeping the hands up into our warrior. Then rolling down. So it might be that you want to hang out in warrior and you're absolutely fed up of coming up and down, but because it's quite energetic on a hot night. I'm just going to hang out again in warrior for a second. So now we're standing up, I'm going to step forward and come into Tadasana. I'm also going to adjust my camera because I am now headless. So, adjust this light. A little bit. No idea if that's any brighter whatsoever. Possibly not. I'll move it out there. So the next sequence we're going to do is, we're doing Flying Dragon. There's a lot to it, but I've chopped it a little bit because it's a kind of sequence where you're meant to I'll show you. You're meant to come from a warrior and warrior 3 down, and then you're meant to kind of go into a dog and then sweep and then go the other way, and it's just confusing. So I've made it a little bit more simplified. So we're going to start at the front of the mat. I don't have a mat in this room because it makes me kind of vanish into dark gloom. So I have an invisible mat in my mind. Looking forward. Feeling your breath at your heart. So we're going to start to step into our into our right foot. I'm going to spin this way. And dropping, stepping your weight into your right foot, crossing your left ankle over onto your right shin. I need to spin around, I can't balance up on that wall, sorry. So you've got your left ankle on your right shin. Bringing your hands to heart. Would it be possible to bend your right knee? So this is like the first version of this pose. If you're happy to take that left foot a little bit higher, you could bring it to the knee. So we're kind of coming into a single-legged, kind of cross-legged chair type thing. So you just want to check that your right knee is pointing in the direction of your right middle toe. Straighten the right leg, bring that left knee forward, and then step it back. So you kind of want to make yourself into a bit of a human seesaw. Find that left big toe, check the alignment from the heel to the crown of the head, bringing the arms out wide and moving into warrior 3. Bend in your right knee, find the ground with your left foot, sweeping your arms up, bring your hands to heart and then bend your left knee. Come all the way towards the floor, lowering the left knee down. Bring both hands up towards the sky with an inhale. And then exhale like 2 little wings, bring those hands down towards the feet. I'm actually facing the right way for this, well done me. So you've got your left hand on the floor. Open out your right arm, turning your chest to the right as you go, and look up towards your right middle finger. And if you wish, pick up your left knee and push back into our twist. Press down through all the fingers with your left hand. So we could stay here, or we could take this in towards side plank. So to get to side plank, drop your left knee down, step your right foot out towards the back, so spin your hips to face sideways. And we could make this into a full side plank by taking that left foot to the back of the mat. We could stay here, or we could bring that right foot into the floor, bend your knee, you'll feel your hips turning towards the ceiling. Push into the floor of the hands and lift the hips, moving into Wild Thing. Turn the body back towards the floor and extend yourself, yawn yourself back into Downward Facing Dog. If you want to come down, I wouldn't mind at all. I think it's a brilliant idea. Maybe going to child, maybe going to all fours, maybe go and have a quick shower. And then we're going to bring ourselves back towards the front of the mat. So we're going to sweep our right foot up and then step it forwards. Lower the left knee. Press again into the foot and float up into Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands are like little wings coming back to the floor. No more side planking. What we will do is press into the floor and find our little human seesaw, lifting your left foot up and pivoting at the hips. Bringing your body to face the front, bringing your hands to heart. Find that place for your left ankle on either the shin or the knee, and take a seat for 5 breaths. Straighten the legs, place the left foot down, and hold. So stepping your way into your left foot, crossing your right ankle over to your left shin. Again, do we need to have the foot on the shin as we bend the knee? Can we bring the foot to the left side? Hands to heart, and again, 5 breaths. And again, visualize your left knee. Is it hovering somewhere of that middle toe? So again, you don't want that knee to be wavering in or wavering out. Tracking forwards, feeling the strength of that left footprint. And what you're sensing here, because the bones are no longer aligned, there is effort. Straighten the leg, taking the right foot back again, checking the alignment from the heel, the hip to the crown of the head, bringing those arms that way. So again, you could totally think, I'm not doing that. Do you know what? I'm not going to do a warrior at this time. I'm just going to have that foot back. If you want to have a rest in this position, you're very welcome to, but you might explore your warrior. It might be just a very tentative warrior. Taking your right foot back. Inhale, raising the hands. Exhale, hands to heart. Slowly lower the right knee to the floor. Bringing the hands up with an in-breath. Out-breath, hands come down towards the floor. So again, like little wings. So I'm going to turn away from the camera, but I just really can't balance over that wall. It's like a magic eye wall. So your right hand is planted. Bringing your left hand out again, turn the chest to face the sky. And again, you might be lifting up the right knee and pushing back. You might drop that right knee and step the left foot back into your side plank. You might be straightening the feet. You might be taking that left foot, dropping it behind, spinning the hips, lifting the hips and bringing that hand towards the wall behind. Exhale, turn, and again, coming into downward facing dog if you wish. I'm going to come down and come into child because I'm very hot. 5 breaths, whatever you've chosen to do. So we need to come back to standing, unfortunately. So take your left foot and place it by your right, your left hand. And again, that push of the foot into the hand, into the floor, sweeps us up. Bringing your hands down to the floor, preparing to come back up to warrior 3. So can we do it? Can we press into that foot and sweep up? Taking the right foot around, placing it wherever you thought you had it before. Hands to heart, bend the knee, 5 breaths. It might be you thinking, I ain't bending that knee, I'm just going to kind of come into a tree pose. Placing the feet down, we have just one more round of that to do. So you can completely skip out the wild thing if you really want to. You can completely skip out the plank if you really want to. My watch is saying move. Are you joking? I'm moving, I'm really hot. So taking your weight into your right foot, crossing your left foot over again, find your chair or your tree, whichever you feel is most appropriate. Straighten the leg, taking the left foot back, moving into your version of Warrior 3. Left foot finds the floor. Oops, the daisy falling over as you do it. Sweeping your hands up, coming up through Warrior 1. Bending the left knee, come down. Sweeping the hands up and then swoop down. Left hand stays on the floor, turning the chest to the right, looking up. So I'm going to stay down. But again, we've got those little modifications of side plank, full-on plank, you know, wild thing. But I'm going to stay exactly where I am. Lifting my left knee, pushing back. Turn your chest back towards the floor, stepping yourself back into downward facing dog or flopping on your belly like a fish. Breathe in here, 5 breaths. So raise the dragon's tail, pointing back, and step it through to the right hand. Press, and again, open up, inhale. Exhale, hands to floor, prepare to come up to Warrior 3. So again, it's that push. Feel the body floating up or wobbling precariously up. Left foot comes around, bringing it to the thigh or the shin, and bending the knee if that is suitable. Straighten the leg, placing the left foot down, moving into, again, tree on the left, or our variations of our standing chair. Right foot sweeps back, moving towards Warrior 3, so human seesaw. Never lock the standing leg out. Finding the floor with the back foot, hands to heart. Slowly dip the right knee down. Inhale, hands sweep up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Keep your right hand on the floor, turning the chest to the left, looking up to the left hand. So again, really pressing into the palm, the fingers of the right hand, maybe lifting the knee, maybe keeping it down again, maybe going into side plank, maybe going into wild thing. I don't mind. Turning the chest towards the floor, stepping back into downward facing dog, or again, laying on the floor because it's so warm. Looking towards the hands again, find that way to bring the left foot forwards, lower the right knee. Inhale, press into the foot, sweeping up. Exhale, hands to floor, preparing to press again, feeling yourself rise up, whee, like a phoenix from the flames. Right foot sweeps around again, coming into tree pose if that is your preference, or bending the left knee. And resting. Ooh, my days. I've got one more little standing sequence to do, and we're going to do 2 rounds of it, then we lay on the floor and do some twisting. So, again, this wall, beautiful, but I can't focus on it. I need to face this way. So I'm just trying to think. Yeah, it's one where we turn away, but we're going to try to get you so you constantly come back to the front of your mat. So we stand in at the front, and then we're going to take the left foot back. So when you come into this, lift the ball of the heel of your back foot. So you've got the ball of the foot on the floor. Pelvis should be nice and upright. Ribs back to the hips, gazing forward. So I don't need to kind of to buckle through the spine. So again, keep that pelvis upright. Bending your right knee, pushing back with your left heel. Bring your left arm forward. Now imagine that I've got your wrist and I'm going to pull you forward. So if I was to pull you forward, let your pelvis tilt. So you're going to tilt forward, right knee bending, leaning forward with your left hand. Now use your right foot, press it, straighten the legs, take your left hand behind you, pivot, 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 pivot. So you're now facing space behind you, you're over your line now. Bend your left knee, coming into warrior, facing away from the front of the mat. Bring your right arm forward this time. Again, lead with the hand, imagine someone's pulling your right wrist, you're pushing forwards. And then again, press with your left foot, pivot, pivot, pivot back to the front of your mat. Hurrah! Right knee bent, leaving the left wrist, push forward. I do need to spin around. There you go. So now from here, push yourself back to centre. And then as you do that, drop your left hand down by your side. And then drop your left heel into the floor. This is going to spin your hips now, so it's facing the side of your mat. Have a look at your right foot and your right knee. They should be pointing to the front of your mat. So you're actually now in warrior two stance. Bring your hands out at shoulder height. Bend your right knee, moving to warrior two. So as you're doing that, you're pushing down into that left foot. Your left leg should stay nice and straight. Keep your left shoulder over your left hip. So again, use the ground again. Push, straighten your right leg. Bend your left knee. Pick up the toes of your right foot, moving into like a backwards warrior almost. And then push with your left foot, come back to centre. Dropping the right foot down, bend your right knee, move back to warrior two. Pushing with your right foot, straighten the right leg. Bend the left knee. So it's like you're trying to bring that left hip over the left heel, straightening your right leg again, toes are picked up. This time, bend the hips and take a bow. Inhale, straighten your left leg, come back. Exhale, move back to warrior two. Inhale, straight, push with your right foot to straighten. Bend your left knee, floating back. Tipping the hips further back, take a deeper bow. And then straighten up. Come back to the front of the mat. Don't move the eye back to me, just so I can stay facing forward. So taking your right foot back. Lifting your right heel, pelvis is upright. Bending your left knee. The right hand comes forward. So again, imagine someone's got your wrist and is pulling you forward. So pelvis tilts, spine is straight, left knee bends. Push with your left foot, straighten up, pivot to face the complete opposite direction. You've got your left heel lifted, right knee at the front, left hand comes forward. Again, lead the hand, bend the right knee. Then push with the right leg, pivot to face, completely the opposite way. So again, back to the front of the mat, left foot in front. The right hand comes forward. Lead with the wrist, bend the left knee, float forward. And then push back to centre. Just dropping your right hand onto your hip. And then as you drop your right heel into the floor, moving into warrior two stance. So again, pelvis is kind of towards the side of the mat. Looking towards your left foot, the left knee. Bend your head, floating the arms out, bend the left knee, moving to warrior two. So again, have a little look to your left big toe. Should be able to see it. Right leg is nice and straight, shoulders over the hip. So now we're going to press. Push with the left leg. Bend the right knee, sink back. You're going to pick up the toes of your left foot. Right leg working hard. All that weight is going into your right leg. And then push with your right leg back to center. Bend the left knee, sink into warrior two. Straighten the legs, sink back. Pelvis tilt. Press with the right leg, sink back to center. Bending the left knee back to warrior two. Straighten your leg. Bend again. Take that deeper bow this time. So again, all that weight in the right leg, knee over toe, knee in the direction of the toes. Press and straighten back. I don't think we'll do another round of that. It's very tiring. Wowza. That's called retreating warrior, and I think I want to retreat into the shower after this lesson. So what I'd like to take us into next is some lazier stuff. So come and lie down. I've gone really pink. I just love that on YouTube is going to be maybe like for posterity. Right, so I want to go into some twisty stuff now. I'm not very slick. I would never get a million subscribers unless I did it just for hilarity reasons. So yeah, I want to go into some twists. So find yourself a comfortable perch. I did have these here for a reason at the start of the lesson, but then they got in the way. So you've been to the lessons enough, you know all about blocks, but the purpose of a block is to make your pelvis upright. So if you need a block, place it under your bottom, make yourself nice and upright. And I'm taking you to the wrong pose. Did I tell you I'm not very slick? We're going to go through the pigeon first, so I'm getting you into the twist already. On to all fours, sorry. Getting you excited now, you know what's coming. So, look down to your knees again, arch the spine. And then as you look forward, lift your gaze, lift your tailbone, and then we're going to sweep our right foot back. Take an exhale, bring the knee into the belly, nose to knee. And again, exhale, extend the foot back, dropping the belly, lifting the hips, lifting the gaze. And again, we'll do that one more time, nose to knee. One more time, extend back. And then this next time you bring the nose to knee, take the knee towards the right wrist and drop that right ankle onto the floor, sinking into pigeon. So as we're doing that, we want the pelvis to be nice and upright. We want to just check that that foot nicely lays on the floor. Does the knee feel okay? Have we got the knee tucked under the body? So the knee is somewhere behind the wrist. And just checking for comfort. Do we feel comfortable being up, or should we be down on our elbows? So I'm happy being up. So looking back towards your left big toe, bring your right hand to the space just in front of you and bend the left knee. Does it want to come in? Can we touch the left foot? You don't have to. Can you bring the left foot towards your buttocks? Would that be a terrible idea? Should it be somewhere out here? Should you not be touching the foot at all? So relax the leg and roll down onto your right side. You're going to take that left foot and swing it around. Swing it around so it is now in front of you. So you're going to bring it over the right side. So I'm just going to spin around. So basically moved into a twist position. So again, it might be that this is not a good idea for your knees, for your pelvis, whatever. So you can adapt it by straightening your right leg and keeping that left knee crossed in front of you. I'm happy where I am. Pelvis upright. And again, check that your lower back. So if you're feeling that you're really trying to hoist yourself up, it might be that good idea to straighten that right leg. Okay. So look now to your left hand. We're going to bring it forwards, arc it up, and take it back. And as you take it back, allow your chest to turn. Fingertips come to the floor. And then look over your left shoulder. And as you do that, pressing into your right knee. So you can feel your belly, your chest, and your shoulders turning. Looking towards your front knee. Turn your chest so you're facing forward. So we're going to move next towards cow head pose. So for that, you grab your ankle, your left ankle, and you bring it around towards your right hip, and then you think, oh, is this working? I'm not sure. So what you could do again is straighten your front leg, your bottom leg, and have just one leg crossed. And just the aim of it really is to think about relaxing that knee. So it could be you're going to need to hold the knee so you can feel like you're letting it go. So let it go into gravity. But again, you might be happy to stay with both knees crossed. So just check in on where you need to be. Looking to your left side, drop your fingertips to the floor. So have the arm nice and straight. And then look over to your right shoulder and bring your arm out. So just imagine you've got a ball, you want to bring it up towards the middle. You're going to keep your arm straight, raise it up to the ceiling, take your gaze to the thumb, and then bend your left elbow, allowing yourself to arc across the left. So you're going to keep your heart face forward. So try not to twist. So again, keep the heart forward. Moving back to centre, placing the fingertips on the right on the floor, looking to your left hand, bringing the left hand out. Raise the arm first and then bend the right elbow. So again, arc in the opposite direction. Moving back to the front of the mat. So I've got that weird and wonderful twist I like to do. Basically, in essence, we're going to switch legs. We're going to have the right leg on top of the left leg. So I'm going to take you through that weird twist that no one ever gets, but sometimes they do. So your left leg, the one on top, place the foot on the floor, and your hands, bring them down onto the floor by your right side. So you shouldn't be over the opposite knee, you should have lots of space. And then straighten your legs, so push into your hands, straighten your legs, don't move your feet. So your legs are crossed. Up onto the balls of your feet. Pivot as far as you can in the opposite direction, don't move your hands. Now slide your hands all the way around the opposite way. And have a look at your legs, nice and crossed, and then bend your knees and let your left knee tuck behind your right knee. I think I've got winners. Yay! You can pretend if you don't, I wouldn't know. And then so we're going to adjust back into our cow head pose. So again, deciding, is this a good idea having these legs in this way? So again, this time you might have your left leg straight with your right leg on top. And again, the idea here is just to let gravity relax the knee. So again, it could be you're going to hold that knee, just so you can let go of this tension in the hips and let the knee let go. But again, you might be happy to have the knees flat. And just stay with the breath. Looking across to the right shoulder, placing the fingertips, the right hand on the floor. Look across the left shoulder, bringing the left arm out. Raise the arm, and then bend the right elbow. Straighten the arms, placing the left hand down, looking to the right, bringing the right arm out, lifting the arm, and then bending the left elbow. Straighten up. Moving to twist. So this right leg crossed over, bring the foot by the left knee. Again, is this a good idea to be in this position? Do we need to straighten the left leg beneath us? Is your pelvis upright? Are we forcing into the lower back? Does that lower back feel comfortable? Looking at the right hand, inhale, arc it up, sweep the fingers to the floor again, stay on the fingertips. You don't want to feel yourself dropping into your right hand. Left hand comes around the knee, feeling the chest turn. So again, if you just picture your spine in the centre of the body, feel it as nice upright little rod and the chest is turning. So let's let go of this. So if you've got your left leg straight, tuck it back underneath you. And then your right leg is going to go on a big journey. Arc it out behind you, turning your pelvis towards the floor, bringing both hands to the floor. Again, moving back towards our pigeon pose. So pigeon doesn't suit everybody. You might be on your back and hugging your knees in. You might be thinking, I'm just going to lie down. It's up to you. So your left knee, if you are in this pigeon, is behind your wrist. Your left foot is somewhere in front of your right hip. You've got your right knee on the floor, toes are pointed, and you're just checking, does it feel comfortable? Should I be a little bit lower down? The lower down stretches your pelvis a little bit, not your pelvis, your buttocks and things like that, and your hamstrings a little bit more. But if you're up on your arms, that just adds in the psoas muscle. It really goes into your hip flexors, but you just got to make sure that it's a comfortable thing for your lower back, that you're not crunching anything. And we have those little playful adjustments of bending your right knee and holding the foot if you wanted to. Again, that might just be a step too far. So from this place, let's roll down onto our backs. So find the floor. So we'll start a little bit late, so I'm going to finish a little bit late. So just make yourself nice and comfortable. Close your eyes and have a really, really good rest. Let's spend some time just feeling the breath at the nostrils. Feeling how it passes very softly over the fulcrum. Take all the time that you need to breathe. If you're lying on the floor, if you can, curl at the two sides of your tongue. We're making a little straw kind of shape. So you've got, if you think about the front of your tongue, it looks like a little U shape. So all we're going to do is just breathe gently in and gently out. Relaxing the tongue for a moment and just feel the coolness that you brought into the body through that sitali breath. And if you want to restart at any point, just again, bring it in just into your day to cool the mouth, to cool the body. Whichever way you're choosing to breathe, just picture that breath flowing into the body and all the way down to the toes. And as you breathe out, just feel the toes just relaxing and yielding towards gravity. Maybe the next breath, whichever way you take it, through the nose or through sitali breath, picture the heels relaxing, yielding into gravity. Next breath that you take, again just picture the shins, the muscles of the shins, the calves, the front and backs, yielding softly into gravity. Picturing the thigh bones becoming heavier, yielding softly into gravity. Picturing the hip bones softly yielding into gravity. Feeling and sensing the ribcage softening into gravity. Feeling the collarbones spreading and softly yielding back to the forces of gravity. Just feeling the weight of the head, again yielding softly into the forces of gravity. And then we can slowly think about bringing the arms towards the floor, giving yourself a really kind of big yawning stretch. I hate that word, but there you go, that's what it is. And then we can bring our knees calmly into the belly and give yourself a hug. I do love the word hug. And then whenever you're ready, roll yourself. You don't have to move immediately to your side and up to seated. Ooh, it's all gone a bit dark in some houses. Namaste.